So hello, everybody. It's really great to be here today. My name is Jack Cheeseborough. I'm the CEO of iPlan. And for those of you that don't know iPlan, we're an integrated business planning software provider focusing specifically in the manufacturing area. I'm not going to use this 10-minute pitch today to talk about our software. I've got a great team of consultants with us. The system is running outside. Come and talk to us. Come and have a look. I want to talk about our beloved S&OP process. I think it's time that we think about changing it, or evolving it, or upgrading it, let's say. So this might be to do with the arrival of new technology. That's certainly enabling it. But it's also going back to some basics, some fundamentals that need to be in place around the S&OP process. So, starting point. Your S&OP process is still monthly. That's 12 opportunities per year for an executive S&OP review. It's 12 finalized forecasts created for the business for that year. It's 12 laps of what Martin described earlier as the continuous 100-meter relay. Racing to get the demand plan in, racing to get the supply plans ready, only for an event to take place an hour before we were presenting the S&OP to review to our executive team. The market isn't. The market doesn't care. The market is happening all the time. Events are arriving. So I want to put some ideas out today, and I'd really like you to come and join us at our booth afterwards and feedback, see what you think. But it's about the idea of S&OP running as a continuous process, and where we as planners are not driving these numbers, driving this process, but we're governing a process. So, S&OP first described, I think, in 1981. It means we're 45 years, and the process has not changed very much. It's evolved. We've added portfolio planning, external collaboration with suppliers and customers, and then we went into S&OE as we had to manage the deviation between our cyclical plans. In that time, market volatility in comparison has shot through the roof, and our technology has improved as well. Technologists like myself, like others in the room, we're looking at how we can adapt to the market demands, how we can provide that functionality. But there always feels like this gap that's missing. The process hasn't evolved, the technology has got better, and I think it kind of speaks between the vendor pitches that we see today and the organizational stories we hear, that change in the process. So let's take our S&OP process. 5-stage process. Principles still remain as they are, but it's emerged from the limits of the data we had available, the human bandwidth, the technology available at the time, and it's all centered around finding consensus. So it's consensus around a demand plan. It's consensus around a scenario. It's consensus at the S&OP meeting to release a scenario. And consensus is kind of, comfortable. If we're all green Myers-Briggs types that want to focus on a one-number plan, it helps us, it supports us, it unifies us, but it slows us down because we're looking to find consensus around numbers that change the next day, or maybe even the next hour. It's calendar bound and it's slow. So should we build consensus at all? Well, we should. The problem is building consensus around these numbers, so getting to the finalized demand plan that everyone agrees on, getting to the finalized scenario that everyone agrees on. These are moving targets that always change. We've got to build the consensus around the constant things in our business. So what are the constant things? Or let's say the semi-constant things. Our business priorities, the key KPIs that drive our business. So this might be the acceptable level of working capital, it might be the service level we're targeting, it might be the lead time from placing an order to delivery, and really the relative importance of our products, our channels, our customers in the marketplace in terms of profitability. We have those. Most of the time we have those. Then it's our underlying operating policies. So what are our guidelines for defining our safety stock? What are our guidelines for order promising responses? What are our supplier selection criteria? These are our operating policies that allow us to make decisions day to day. And then, almost most importantly, what are the decision thresholds? So when should we take a decision? This is all about having our thresholds defined in ranges, not based on a specific number, but within a range that's acceptable. So should we take action now? Should we take a decision? Or should we postpone that decision? These three things, in a hierarchical way, define and give us the acceptable plan, the plan that can work for the business. The next most important thing then is defining the decision authority. So who can take the decisions at what time during the process? So who should they be? And is it just human beings these days? It's also the arrival of agents that help us make these decisions throughout our process. But our low impact, execution level processes, things that are governed by executional KPIs, where there are many different risk mitigating options. These are low impact, day-to-day, potentially could be taken by the agents within our tools, but certainly can be used in order to support planners on a day-to-day basis. Then we get our medium-term impact questions. So the kind of tactical KPIs that govern this process, where we have few mitigation options. We have to make decisions about asset utilization, closing machine, changing our sourcing, accepting an order outside of the defined allocation. And then we have to escalate to that senior level for the big decisions that are going to change our top line KPIs. What's going to change our working capital? What's going to change our service level? What's going to change our order lead time? There are no other mitigating options. We have to make a decision to increase working capital. We've got to make those strategic trade-offs. So that's organizational. How does the software help us? Well, software technology, up until the last 5 years or so, have been very focused around descriptive and predictive analytics. So telling us what's happened in the past and giving us a view as to how to react and how to respond in the future, predicting different scenarios, giving us options. But the advancement in AI has allowed us to move into this area of descriptive analytics, prescriptive analytics, apologies. Prescribing the best solutions, the next task that we should take. So testing potential outcomes, allowing us to evaluate those outcomes versus the current plan, and allowing us to project what the KPIs might look like, what our business might look like going forward. And what's so interesting, and what Glenn said in his talk as well, is that it's actually the business priorities, the policies, the thresholds that we define within the organization that gives us the context to organize the data within our systems. So put another way, our AI agents can better manage these tasks of maximizing utilization, minimizing changeovers, when we have these priorities and thresholds defined in our organization and then built into our software and tools. It allows us to then present information in dashboards, alert the decision authority at the point at which that disruption has an impact, and allows us to respond. So our legacy S&OP process in principle doesn't change. We've got to forecast demand, we've got to change supply. I'm not saying anything too radical there. But if we look at an AI-enhanced S&OP process, it might look something a bit more like this. Our portfolio planning, demand planning, supply planning are happening continuously. As soon as an event impacts the business, we're sensing that something's happened. We're experimenting. We're creating a new scenario. We're evaluating that scenario against the current plan, and then we're deploying that moving forward. It might mean that a pre-S&OP meeting to define some scenarios that we're going to put forward isn't what we're going to be focusing on now. And it really changes the context of that monthly S&OP review. It's not happening on the third week of every month on a specific day. it's happening, well, it might be, but it's happening to govern the process, not to make the strategic decisions or to bring the last months of events and risks and opportunities to the table. So whereas previously our S&OP exec review might look something like this, we talk about risks, we talk about opportunities, we spend a long time talking about numbers. We look backwards at KPIs of past performance, and I'm probably being kind by not also introducing that lots of squabbling and conversations about data accuracy and whether the plans are really accurate. A more continuous process would allow us to go into a new time distribution, a new kind of S&OP process or exec review, a governance process. We're looking at forward KPIs for the future. We're assessing the risks and opportunities that might impact those KPIs. And then it's about the policies, the priorities, and the thresholds. What needs to change? What decision authority do we need to be able to provide? And when we're talking volumes in ranges that we can build consensus on, not a one-number plan that's going to change as soon as that scenario has been released. So it's an S&OP governance meeting. Now, I imagine I might be over time, so I'm going to finish with 2 points. First, a challenge to organizations, users of the S&OP process in the room. Start by defining business priorities and KPIs. As I said, we have these, but underpin these with the policies and the thresholds, and then think about the decision authority. Who are we giving the decision authority to at the right time in the process to make those decisions and deploy new scenarios? And then to the technologists and vendors, we spend a lot of time looking at this gap between the market volatility, the risks, the issues that we have to tackle, and how the technology can advance to meet those. But let's not forget about the gap between our current process, our current S&OP process, and where organizations are trying to get to. So, some focus for the vendors and technologists in the room. Focus on AI logic that can handle the policies and thresholds. This is the context. Allow that context to be provided in the systems, and then continue to experiment with AI agents that allow day-to-day decision-making to be enabled. And then remember, prescriptive analytics is the information that prescribes solutions that give us the agility to be able to make quick decisions, deploy new scenarios, and put the business on a different heading. Before I finish, we are gathering some information around this new process, but also things that help us. If you visit our booth as we're running a survey today, it'll take you 2 or 3 minutes, fill in some information, give us some thoughts and some ideas around where we're going, helps our roadmap, helps our thinking around the process. But if that's not enough of a reason, ahead of your Christmas shopping season, Sinterklaas coming up, we're giving away a Max Verstappen Formula 1 car Lego. Nick's somewhere in the room. He's supposed to hold it up. Please join us. Please sign it. Please come and enter that competition. And thank you very, very much.